In the last video, we talked about Jack's terrible discovery. His mother mortgaged everything to invest in land. But the land is worthless. It's trapped in an industrial zone planning. The money is gone. We ended with a question. Who is watching all of this unfold? Is it Ms. Thu, Mom Loy's old friend? Or is there someone more dangerous waiting to strike? Today, we're going to answer that question. And the truth is more complicated than you might think. There isn't just one person watching. There are several. And each one has different reasons. Let's look at who they are. First, there's Ms. Thu. Ms. Thu is definitely watching, but not in the way you might expect. She's not hiding in the shadows like a villain. She's watching from her own house, paralyzed by fear and guilt. Remember, Ms. Thu brought this investment opportunity to Mom Loy. She convinced her old friend to buy the land. Now the land is worthless. Whether Ms. Thu knew the truth or not, she's responsible. Every day, Ms. Thu wakes up thinking about Mom Loy. She wonders, should I call her? Should I tell her the truth? Should I confess? But she's terrified. If she admits what happened, Mom Loy will hate her. Their decades of friendship will be destroyed. The whole community will know that Ms. Thu betrayed her best friend. So Ms. Thu watches. She waits. She hopes somehow the problem will go away. Maybe the government planning will change. Maybe a miracle will happen. Maybe she won't have to face the truth. But deep down, Ms. Thu knows the truth won't stay hidden forever. Second, there are the real criminals. The people who actually designed this fraud scheme. They're watching too. And they're watching very carefully. These people are professionals. This isn't their first land scam. They've done this before. They find desperate people like Ms. Thu. They offer them money to bring in investors. Then they disappear with the profits. Right now, these criminals are watching to see if anyone will investigate. Will Jack report the fraud to the police? Will he hire a lawyer? Will he dig deeper and find their names? If Jack starts making noise, they might need to take action. They might threaten him. They might try to silence him. These people don't play fair. Third, there's someone unexpected. Uncle Dung. Uncle Dung cares about Mom Loy. We know from other stories that he has feelings for her. He wants to be close to her. Uncle Dung is observant. He notices things. Lately, he's noticed that Mom Loy seems worried. She's distracted. She talks about this land investment all the time. She keeps asking when they can sell it. Uncle Dung also notices something else. Jack is acting strange. Whenever Uncle Dung sees Jack, the young man looks stressed, tired, burdened. Something is wrong. Uncle Dung can feel it, but he doesn't know what. So Uncle Dung watches. He pays attention. He's trying to figure out what's happening so he can help. Because that's what you do when you care about someone. And fourth, there's Tuttien. Tuttien doesn't know she's watching. She doesn't know there's anything to watch. But she notices changes in Jack. He's distant. He's quiet. He works late every night. When she tries to talk to him, he seems like his mind is somewhere else. Tuttien is worried. She wonders if Jack is losing interest in her. She wonders if there's another woman. She doesn't know that Jack is carrying a crushing secret about his family's financial disaster. So Tuttien watches Jack closely. She's looking for clues. She's trying to understand what changed. Why does the man she loves suddenly feel so far away? Let's break down what each person actually knows at this point. Ms. Thu knows everything about the land deal. She knows it's worthless. She knows Mom Loy and Jack are in trouble, but she doesn't know that Jack discovered the truth. She doesn't know Jack went to the land site with Luan. She thinks her secret is still safe. The criminals know about the fraud, obviously, but they don't know if anyone has discovered it yet. They're waiting to see if anyone complains or investigates. Uncle Dung knows something is wrong with Mom Loy and Jack, but he doesn't know what. He doesn't know about the land, the mortgage, or the financial crisis. Tuttien knows Jack is acting strange, but she doesn't know why. She doesn't know about any family problems. Each person has a piece of the puzzle, but nobody has the full picture, except Jack. And Jack is keeping all the pieces to himself. Here's what makes this situation so explosive. Everyone is keeping secrets from everyone else. Jack is keeping secrets from his mother and Tuttien. Ms. Thu is keeping secrets from Mom Loy. The criminals are hidden from everyone. Uncle Dung suspects something but hasn't asked directly. Tuttien feels something is wrong but doesn't know how to bring it up. When this many people are hiding this many things, the situation becomes unstable. Like a tower of blocks stacked too high. One small push and everything crashes down. Let's imagine how the truth might start to come out. It could start with something small, something innocent. Maybe Mom Loy is having tea with Uncle Dung. She's been wanting to tell someone about her worries. Uncle Dung is kind. He's a good listener. I'm a little worried about the land investment, Mom Loy says. Ms. Thu and I bought this land months ago. We thought we could sell it by now, but Jack keeps saying the market isn't right. Uncle Dung listens carefully. How much did you invest? He asks gently. Mom Loy hesitates. Then she admits, we mortgaged the house and the company property. It's all our savings. Uncle Dung's face changes. He tries to hide his concern, but Mom Loy sees it. What's wrong? She asks. You look worried. It's just... Uncle Dung chooses his words carefully. That's a lot of money to put into one investment. Have you seen the land recently? Have you checked on it? Well, no, Mom Loy says. Ms. Thu handles most of that. And Jack said to wait. Maybe you should go look at it, Uncle Dung suggests, just to be sure everything is okay. This conversation plants a seed of doubt in Mom Loy's mind. What if Uncle Dung is right? What if something is wrong? Why hasn't she gone to see the land herself? She decides to call Ms. Thu. Let's go visit the land together, she says. I want to see how it looks. Maybe we can find a buyer soon. Now, Ms. Thu panics. She can't take Mom Loy to the land. If they go there, Mom Loy will see the industrial zone planning signs. She'll see the construction markers. She'll know the truth. Oh, I'm very busy this week. Ms. Thu makes an excuse. Maybe next week. You're always busy lately, Mom Loy says. There's something in her voice. Suspicion? Hurt? Why don't you want to go see our investment? Ms. Thu's hands are shaking. It's not that I don't want to, I have some family things to handle. Okay, Mom Loy says slowly. I'll go by myself then. Can you send me the address? Ms. Thu's heart stops. What can she say? If she sends the address, Mom Loy will go alone and discover everything. If she doesn't send it, Mom Loy will know something is wrong. She's trapped. Here's another way the truth could start coming out. Tien is at the market selling vegetables. She's chatting with the other vendors. One woman says, "Your boyfriend is that CEO, right? The one with the big company?" "Yes," Tien says proudly. "My husband works in real estate," the woman continues. "He was telling me about some land fraud happening in this area. People bought land that's now in industrial zone planning. They lost everything." Tien's smile fades. "That's terrible," she says. "Yeah, one of the victims is some businessman's mother," the woman says. "I feel so bad for them. Can you imagine losing all your money like that?" Tien thinks about this all day. That night, she asks Jack casually, "How is your mother doing? Is everything okay with her?" Jack freezes for a second. "Yes, why?" "I just heard about some land fraud at the market today," Tien says. "It made me think about her. Is she okay financially?" "She's fine," Jack lies. but his voice is tight, strained. Tuttien watches his face. She knows he's hiding something. She can feel it. There's a third possibility. Maybe the criminals make the first move. One of them calls Ms. Thu. "We heard someone was asking questions at the local committee," the voice says. "Someone was looking at planning documents for the land." Ms. Thu goes pale. "Who?" "We don't know yet. But if people start investigating, this could become a problem for all of us. You need to make sure your friend doesn't cause trouble." "What do you want me to do?" Ms. Thu whispers. "Keep her quiet. Tell her the land sale is coming soon. Keep her hopeful. We need more time to cover our tracks." Ms. Thu realizes she's in deeper than she thought. These people aren't just fraudsters. They're dangerous. They're threatening her. Now she has to choose. Protect herself or protect her friend. The pressure builds. No matter which way the truth starts to emerge, one thing is certain. The pressure is building. Jack can't keep lying forever. Every conversation with his mother is a minefield. Every day with Tuttien requires more energy to maintain the facade. Ms. Thu can't avoid Mom Loy forever. Eventually, her friend will demand answers. The criminals are getting nervous. They want to make sure nobody talks. Uncle Dung is getting more suspicious. He's asking more questions. Tuttien is feeling more distant from Jack. She's starting to wonder if their relationship has a future. And in the middle of all this, Mom Loy still doesn't know that her entire life savings is gone. The truth is like water behind a dam. The pressure keeps building. The cracks are spreading. Eventually, the dam will break. When it does, everything will come flooding out at once. Now let's explore the different ways this crisis could explode. We have multiple people keeping secrets. We have multiple people watching. We have pressure building from all sides. Something has to give. Let's look at the scenarios. Imagine this. Mom Loy decides she's waited long enough. She wants to see the land with her own eyes. Ms. Thu keeps making excuses not to go. Jack keeps telling her to wait. But Mom Loy is getting suspicious. Why is everyone trying to keep her away from her own investment? One morning, Mom Loy gets up early. She doesn't tell anyone where she's going. She takes a taxi to the land site. When she arrives, she sees everything. The industrial zone planning signs, the construction markers, the government notices posted everywhere. This area designated for industrial development, land acquisition in progress. Mom Loy stands there, staring. She reads the notices again and again, hoping she misunderstood. But the words are clear. Her land is worthless. It will be taken by the government. She'll receive minimal compensation. All the money she invested is gone. She thinks about the house title, mortgaged at the bank. The company property, also mortgaged. Jack's savings that he gave her. All of it poured into this worthless piece of land. Her legs feel weak. She sits down on a rock. She starts to cry. A construction worker notices her. "Are you okay, Auntie?" he asks. "This land," Mom Loy says through tears. "I bought it. I invested everything I had." The worker's face fills with pity. "I'm sorry, Auntie. A lot of people got tricked with this land. It's been in the planning for over a year. Whoever sold it to you knew it was worthless." Over a year. The planning has been in effect for over a year. That means Ms. Thu definitely knew. She had to know. You can't sell land without checking the planning status. And if she checked, she would have seen this. Ms. Thu deliberately lied. She deliberately tricked her best friend. Mom Loy feels like her world is collapsing. Not just because of the money. The betrayal hurts more than the financial loss. She takes out her phone. Her hands are shaking. Who should she call? Jack? He'll be devastated. Ms. Thu? She can't even bear to hear her voice. She calls Uncle Dung. "Can you come pick me up?" she asks quietly. I need help. Uncle Dung hears something broken in her voice. He doesn't ask questions. Where are you? I'm coming right now. When Uncle Dung arrives, he finds Mom Loy sitting by the roadside, staring at the planning notices. She looks 10 years older than she did yesterday. I lost everything, she tells him. I was so stupid. I trusted the wrong person. Now Jack will lose the house, the company, everything. Uncle Dung sits beside her. He doesn't know what to say. How do you comfort someone who just lost their life savings? Does Jack know? He asks gently. Mom Loy shakes her head. Then she pauses. Wait, maybe he does know. He's been acting strange lately. He keeps telling me not to sell the land yet. Maybe he already discovered this and didn't tell me. She pulls out her phone again. This time, she calls Jack. Mom? Jack answers. Is everything okay? I'm at the land site, Mom Loy says. Her voice is cold, controlled. The land you told me not to sell. The land with the wrong market timing. There's silence on Jack's end. A long, heavy silence. When were you going to tell me? Mom Loy asks. When the bank takes our house? When we're out on the street? Mom, I can explain. You lied to me, Mom Loy says. You've been lying to me for weeks. How could you? This is one of the worst scenarios. Mom Loy discovers the truth alone. She feels betrayed by both Ms. Thu and Jack. The financial loss is devastating, but the emotional damage is even worse. Here's a different path. What if Tuttien discovers the secret first? Remember the conversation at the market? The vendor mentioned land fraud. That planted a seed in Tuttien's mind. Tuttien is a simple woman, but she's not stupid. She knows something is wrong with Jack. She decides to find out what. One day, Jack leaves some documents on the kitchen table. He went to take a shower. He forgot to put them away. Tuttien sees the papers. She shouldn't look. She knows that. But her worry overcomes her hesitation. She reads the documents, bank statements, mortgage papers, letters from the bank asking about payment schedules. She sees the amounts. Billions of VND, properties mortgaged, the house, the company. Tuttien's hands start shaking. She doesn't understand all the legal language, but she understands enough. Jack's family is in serious financial trouble. When Jack comes out of the shower, Tuttien is sitting at the table with the papers in front of her. What is this? She asks. Her voice is small, scared. Jack's face goes white. Tuttien, I can explain. How long? She interrupts. How long have you been hiding this from me? I didn't want to worry you. Don't. Tuttien stands up. There are tears in her eyes. Don't tell me you were protecting me. We're supposed to be building a life together. How can we do that if you hide things this big from me? Jack doesn't know what to say. He reaches for her, but she steps back. Do you think I'm stupid? Tuttien asks. Do you think I can't handle difficult things? I grew up poor, Jack. I know about money problems. I know about struggle, but I don't know about lies. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Tuttien demands. Tell me everything, right now. Jack has no choice. He sits down and explains everything. The land investment, the worthless planning, the mortgaged properties, his mother not knowing, the crushing weight of the secret. Tuttien listens to all of it. When he's done, she asks one question. Does your mother know? No, Jack admits. Then you need to tell her, Tuttien says firmly. Today, right now. I can't. Yes, you can, Tuttien interrupts. You have to, because this secret is destroying you. I can see it, and it's destroying us too. She's right. Jack knows she's right, but he's terrified. What if she gets sick from the stress? Jack asks. What if the guilt kills her? What if the lie kills your relationship with her? Tuttien counters. What if she finds out from someone else and never forgives you? This scenario is different. Here, Tuttien becomes the voice of truth. She pushes Jack to do what he's been afraid to do. She doesn't leave him. She stands by him. But she demands honesty. There's a third possibility. What if Ms. Thu breaks first? The guilt is eating her alive. She can't sleep. She can't eat. Every time her phone rings, she's terrified it's Mom Loy discovering the truth. The criminals called her again. They're putting pressure on her. They want her to keep Mom Loy quiet. But Ms. Thu doesn't know how much longer she can lie. One night, Ms. Thu makes a decision. She can't live like this anymore. She has to tell the truth. She goes to Mom Loy's house. It's late evening. She knows Mom Loy is home. When Mom Loy opens the door, she's surprised. Ms. Thu, I've been trying to reach you for days. Where have you been? I need to talk to you, Ms. Thu says. Her face is pale. She looks like she hasn't slept in weeks. They sit down. Ms. Thu takes a deep breath. The land we bought, she begins. There's a problem. Mom Loy's smile fades. What kind of problem? It's in an industrial zone planning, Ms. Thu says. The words come out in a rush. It's been in the planning for over a year. We can't sell it. The government will take it. We'll only get minimal compensation. We lost almost everything. The room goes silent. Mom Loy stares at her friend. When did you find out? Mom Loy asks quietly. Ms. Thu can't meet her eyes. Before we bought it. You knew? Mom Loy's voice rises. You knew the land was worthless and you still convinced me to invest? I needed the money, Ms. Thu whispers. I was in debt. They offered me a commission to bring in investors. I was desperate. I'm so sorry. Mom Loy stands up. Her whole body is shaking. Get out. Please, let me explain. Get out of my house, Mom Loy screams. You betrayed me. We were friends for decades. I trusted you with everything. Get out. Mrs. Thu leaves, crying. But at least the truth is out. At least the lying is over. In this scenario, Ms. Thu takes responsibility. She confesses before she's caught. It doesn't